Welcome to whatever in the hell show this is called, Just Chatting Podcast. We'll go with that.
Well, I wasn't here earlier for his rant on the Second Amendment, but I can I got a lot of info. So today I'm actually wearing my special Second Amendment T-shirt to support it. This is my gun permit. United States of America, Second Amendment. Expiration, never. And that's how we feel.
Well, I also realized something about this flag behind me. It's not the Second Amendment that's written on this flag.
Mm-hmm.
It's a quote by George Washington that's on this flag.
Mm-hmm.
And I never actually took time to read it until today. So, case in point, it says here free people ought not only be armed and disciplined, but they should have significant arms and ammunition to maintain a status of independence from any who might attempt to abuse them, which would include their own government. Gooning to Ghost. What's up, guys? So, your thoughts. Do you think George Washington knew that
What
something like this
is
could
what
happen?
is the most severe lesson they teach us in history class? Those that don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. He knew that once we forgot our rights, our and the reasons why we created these Bill of Rights, the forefathers knew it would be the end of this country the way that they set it up.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, they're tied together. They really are. The First Amendment gives us the right to say what we need to say, and it's not really up to each other. It's about our government. Every single constitution right is not ugh, every every single constitution right is about the government. It's not about me and you. It's our right that we won't be persecuted for what religion we choose to be. It's we won't get persecuted for what we say about our government. We have the right to protest against our government. We have the right to voice our opinion against our government.
Not get killed for it.
And then the Second Amendment protects the first. The Second Amendment is so we can use our weapons against the government if they try to take those First Amendment rights away.
See,
The Third Amendment keeps the military, it keeps the martial law into check, but it also makes that the military cannot use your home as a base without your permission. Fourth Amendment says the government cannot look inside your premises without a warrant or cause. The Fifth Amendment says the government cannot try a case against you or force you to confess. Sixth Amendment says the government has to provide you with an attorney so you can defend yourself. These amendments are designed to protect you from the government. And the Second Amendment is the strongest of them all because it states that if the government was to take the other amendments away or turn into the very evil that we left for, we could use the Second Amendment to form an armed militia. And guess what? Legally, yeah, it would be a terrorist group. They would be committing treason, technically, against the government. But what do you think we were doing in 1776 when we decided not to go to war against England? We were committing treason. We were being terrorists. The problem is, history books are written by the victor. So that's the facts.
All right. I
Go ahead.
found it finally.
Hmm.
Do you know who Chip Roy is? Ghost?
Chip Roy. Who's the victor?
Biden.
Oh,
I'm going to screen share.
go ahead. Now we don't own anything, as everyone knows.
I'm not playing the video, but I will put up the banner to make Chief happy. Because I do not own the rights to this, as long as the YouTube and whoever else it may own. But this is funny.
Yeah,
Though.
because that's the purpose we have, is to make the chief happy. That's our purpose in life.
It's our number one goal in life.
Amendment. Is it to hunt? Sure. Self-defense? That's even more important. The fact is, you read the founders, Federalist 46, James Madison, contrasts us with the tyrannical governments of Europe who are, quote, afraid to trust the people with arms. Joseph Story, in his commentaries on the Constitution in 1833, quote, the right of the citizens to keep and bear arms has justly been considered as the palladium of the liberties of a republic, since it offers a strong moral check against the usurpation and arbitrary power of rulers, and will generally, even if these are successful in the first instance, enable the people to resist and triumph over them. We have a Second Amendment because we understand in this country that there are some things, inalienable rights, that you cannot justly take away from a free and equal human being. Tyrants disarm the people they intend to oppress. Those are the facts. Jewish people in Germany were prohibited from owning arms. 13 million Jews were exterminated by the Nazis. The Soviets instituted gun control and millions were killed. 20 million dissidents were rounded up and exterminated. Mao disarmed the Chinese people. 20 million dissidents were exterminated. In Cambodia, the Khmer Rouge were able to take advantage of the fact that limited gun ownership to just hunters and killed 1.5 million to 3 million Cambodians.
Gun control.
Turkey disarmed Armenians, and 1.5 million Armenians were killed in the Armenian genocide. The South disarmed slaves and actively fought against their arming. And then in the 20th century, armed Black Army veterans, for example, in Louisiana, were able to defend against the KKK. Even fact-checking organization Snopes said, quote, we find it reasonable to conclude that gun confiscations facilitated by laws requiring the registration and licensing of firearms played a crucial role in the carrying out of 20th century genocides. This is not fiction. This is in our lifetime. This is in our grandparents' lifetime. This is in our recent history. This is why the Second Amendment matters. It's not trivial. It's not something you just brush aside. This is a foundation of liberty. It's who we are. But in order to sell a lie to the American people that the government will protect them from all manners of evil, while defunding the police, leaving our borders wide open. I'm glad my colleagues can suddenly find Uvalde on a map. While allowing dangerous cartels operating hundreds of miles into Texas, allowing fentanyl to pour into our communities and kill tens of thousands of children. The very children my colleagues say they wish to protect. In order to do this, Democrats in this body are willing to take away a citizen's God-given right, yes, God-given right,
Damn right, brother,
mocked earlier, to protect himself or her family or his family from harm. The very harm they foster by appeasing lawlessness. And importantly, from the very tyranny being applied to them to deny that right. That is what is at stake. This bill, and it gets brushed aside, raised the age limit. Well, there are constitutional questions to that in the Fourth Circuit, Ninth Circuit, and other circuits. The second title on straw purchases, the very straw purchases that Democrat DAs don't even want to really prosecute, would prohibit a law-abiding citizen from giving a gun to a friend as a gift. Safe storage would make it unlawful for me to have the 22 and the 20 gauge propped up by my door right now in Texas to kill coyotes and snakes. It would make it unlawful. This will not do any good. It will harm Americans, and it undermines our foundational liberties that is crucial for a free state. And with that, I yield back.
Gentleman from New York.
Madam Speaker, I now yield 1 minute to the distinguished.
What is the real story of January 6th? Many people have asked that question. Some people have described what happened on that day as an
Whatever. No one knows. Oh, that's the one. You will like this one, Michael.
Gentleman is recognized.
Ghost.
As the gentlelady on the other side of the aisle knows, I too live in Texas. Raised my son, daughter to respect firearms. We shoot them frequently on our property. We shoot semi-automatic weapons on my property. I teach my children how to use them safely. I teach them what they're used for, why we have the ability to have firearms. And yes, we use it for hunting. My son shot his first deer.
Would the gentleman yield for a question?
Briefly.
Yeah, very question. What do you use semi-automatic weapons for?
I use semi-automatic weapons to kill hogs. I use semi-automatic weapons for sport and shooting on our property. But I also have semi-automatic weapons, and I'm getting to the point.
Thank you.
Because a semi-automatic weapon is a weapon that you can use for self-defense. It is a semi-automatic weapon that you can use to defend yourself against home invaders, but also, let's be clear, against tyranny. The gentlelady is talking about the Second Amendment in the context of hunting, as if my rights are reduced in the Constitution to a 410 or a single shot or lever action 22, as if that was what was expressly put forth as how we're supposed to be defending ourselves.
Yield again?
And let me go ahead and finish my time, sir, unless we want to add more time.
Very, very quickly, question.
I need more time. Will the gentleman give me another 30 seconds?
Yes.
Okay, I'll yield.
You said that you could use a semi-automatic weapon to fight tyranny.
Sure.
You mean you'd use it against American troops?
The very existence of the Second Amendment is designed purposefully to empower the people to be able to resist the force of tyranny used against them to step over their natural rights given to them by God. That is why the Second Amendment exists. That is very specifically why the Second Amendment exists. And let's be very clear about that. Let's rewind the clock a little bit, as I know at least several justices have written in Supreme Court opinions, but about what life looked like in the 19th century. And what the government was doing to remove the ability of either slave owners or, importantly, freed blacks, or importantly, whites who even stood up in defense of blacks or against slavery, and the efforts by the South and the efforts by the strong arm of government to remove their ability to have firearms. That is an absolute, undeniable, documented historic fact in our country. As written by Verbruggen in the National Review, and I'm happy to submit this to the record without objection, he writes, the heart of the problem is that in an effort to stave off rebellion and maintain the racial caste structure that had developed under slavery, state and local governments refused to respect freedmen's constitutional rights. Crucial to the South's efforts were gun control laws that applied to blacks and blacks alone.
Me neither.
This does
unless we're talking about Joe Biden.
It goes on further. I'm going to take too long.
Call me.
Where it goes into the South's campaign against black gun ownership, not surprisingly, began long before the Civil War. Two slave rebellions in the 1820s stoked whites' fears, and in response, many legislatures amended their laws prohibiting slaves from carrying firearms to apply the prohibition to free blacks as well. When the government, and he writes further, and I agree with this, when the government has the ability to forbid gun ownership, it has the ability to render groups it dislikes helpless to defend themselves, regardless of whether modern gun control accomplishes its purpose of reducing crime. And for the record, there is no evidence it does. And I agree with that as well. This is so inherent to the very conversation we're having. my colleagues on the other side of the aisle just blithely dismiss due process. A former judge even saying, arguments about due process. You have the opportunity to be heard after. You have the opportunity to be heard after your rights have been taken away. That's the key issue here. We are absolutely destroying the bedrock principle that your rights are given to you by God and that you can't just have to go to the government to ask permission to exercise those rights. And when you
would the
do
gentleman
that,
yield for a question? Could I ask Mr. Roy a question? Would you yield for a second?
I need to finish up my time. I already have a few seconds left over from the chairman. I'm happy to engage with you in colloquies later. And I would point out that my colleague from Maryland, again, just sort of rolled over the fact that it was very express in the Supreme Court's ruling that the Second Amendment protects an individual right to possess a firearm unconnected with service in a militia. My colleagues like to continually try to connect that to militia service, but we all know that what a militia looked like in 1775 and 17.
All right. So the part that cracked me up about that thing is when he actually said tyranny, like they can go against the government. Yeah, dude, we can.
It's not what he said. He said tyranny. You're telling me you would shoot United States military forces?
Well,
That's
see,
see, here's the thing.
that's stupid because they already have said troops will not go against their own. So that's stupid to say that, because what he literally said in translate, so the troops are going to come to their door and take them. You think they'll really shoot them? Dude, they're not going to do it. They've said
because they can't do it. I was in.
Oh,
yes,
they
yes,
can
we
give
are
the
told,
order,
yes.
but they're not going to follow.
Yeah, see, we're told to follow the president and our commanding officers above me. But before we're told to do that, we are first sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Domestic means here in this land. So if they're told to go against the Constitution, that is an unlawful order, and they are not allowed to follow that. So if they choose to follow it, they themselves are committing treason. And they do not deserve your pity if we have to fight against them. Any true military, United States military member would fight for the Constitution, because that's what they're supposed to do.
Right. I agree. 100%. And that's why when they said that we'll send the Marines, and the Marines started laughing. You're going to do what to who? No, we're not.
And guess what? The local police department, they get the same swear-ins, don't they? To protect to protect the Constitution.
All of them are all read the same. All branches are read the same to protect the Constitution against foreign and domestic.
The problem is people forget the domestic part.
Oh, Marines don't. SEALs don't.
They know. They just, you know what I mean.
That's why when Obama decided to light Texas up in red and said it was going to be a, what was that? He called it a little war game. And the Texas governor got pissed and said, you put one U.S. troop over this border and I'll order my militia to attack and use force. He goes, call my bluff. It's amazing that the Pentagon immediately withdrew that.
Because here's the thing. The United States president has complete authority over the United States active duty and the United States reserves. Yeah. They don't have the authority over the guards. That's the governors.
Well,
each state has their own United States National Guard, and they are owned by the. Well, am I wrong?
But we also still have militia.
Right.
Just like Iowa has the 3%ers of Iowa, you also have the 3%ers of
You got the Proud Boys.
Colorado. You've got so many other ones that are out there.
You got freaking hell.
So, yeah,
Sometimes,
well,
you know what? In all fairness, sometimes Hell's Angels, they'll say they'll be a militia for the United States of America. Go
you
figure.
know, I'll never forget that video back when the war started in Afghanistan of that 70-year-old Hell's Angel walked up on the White House. And he goes, I was in Vietnam and I'll go to this one. Reinstate me. I'm ready to kick some ass.
A lot of MCs has former vets in them. They're not
Oh,
gonna.
yeah.
They're not gonna fuck around.
Oh, hell no. You know, but
Because like it's what I said in our last history session when it came to the Second World War, that after Japan broke Pearl Harbor, the Japanese advisor told them they're not going to be able to invade the homeland of the United States of America because it's the military they got to worry about. It's the 75 million Americans that have guns. They ain't
like
gonna.
we
And his advisor flat out told the emperor, "Sir, we're not going to get past Texas. We maybe get California. We may start going east, but the second we ain't getting past the Mississippi River. It isn't happening."
well, the
That's
other
what
thing they have to look at in modern war is how much mafia is around today that wasn't around in that time frame of the Civil War.
like Italian mafia.
Any of them. In the Civil War, there wasn't none. Mafia didn't exist. Gangs didn't exist.
Oh,
Now pretend this happened. Mafia and the gangs got along.
oh, hell, Italian mafia. They were actually part of them backed our play in the Second World War because they felt because the Italian Americans that were on our side didn't like what their homeland nation was making them look like. They
No, I
didn't
was
like.
talking about in a modern Civil War,
Mhm.
the Mafia and the gangs unite. What do you think would happen?
We would have we would have a lot of problems.
A matter of fact, when Obama thought about doing martial law, Chicago, one of the Italian leaders actually did call a meeting with all the other mobs, all the other mafias in the area, plus the leaders of the gangs.
Hey, Insidious, I think Andy has something to say to you.
I see it. I'd surrender my guns and I'll join the army to help them. Help them with what? You're missing the point. The army ain't going to be the one that'll come and take them, Andy. They're under oath. That'll be an order that they will go against. So who you going to surrender them to? Yeah, you had it right, Joe Biden.
You got the Ed in the wrong spot. It goes in between the I and the D. He's blinding.
Biden works. I got 2 words for Biden.
Should we have like a censor button? We need to have a censor button.
I just need Chief to make a green X. That's all I need. These nuts, then. You know what I always thought they should do in war? Put the 2 presidents in a boxing ring. The one that loses gets nothing. The one that wins gets what he wants.
You do realize every single president would be able to defeat Joe then, so we're screwed. Joe would probably knock himself out.
with his own words. Oh, you know, that was the best part of Trump's things was the commercial with Jim Carrey thing like blah 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 blah. And you know what's funny about that though is how much Jim Carrey didn't like Trump, but yet he applauded him for using his liar liar thing. I go, yeah, because he just threw shade at you. Of course you're gonna respect him for that. Who wouldn't? Free publicity.
You think Chief's sleeping right now?
Well,
Because usually when you turn it on, he usually says something.
nah, he's probably playing with his butt. Oh, where is that? Not online, and it is 1:26 in the morning. Chances are he probably is sleeping. I heard Joe has a case of short-term dementia.
He's got something, all right. Oh, hey, speaking of which, did you hear about the senator in Pennsylvania, the one that won, the guy that was a little loopy, he collapsed? Yeah.
I didn't know anything about that one.
Lurch. Bogglehead said, Lurch.
I'm going to share another one that I thought was funnier now.
Not a problem. Hey, while you're doing that, I got like a trivia question for you. Trivia history question for you. What area has been 6 different countries?
I don't know.
Bogglehead, Andy, do you know which area has been 6 different countries over its history?
I don't own this clip, but it's funnier than hell.
All right, here's your answer before you play that. The answer is Texas. They've been a part of Spain. They've been a part of France. They've been a part of Mexico. They're a part of the Confederate United States, our United States, and Texas was its own country for a little while, has the Republic of Texas. What do you say to that? I mean, it's actually where Six Flags came from.
Secret Service team.
Go ahead.
Ready? Listen to this shit.
The Eagle has landed and is making his way down the helicopter stairs. We know his history with stairs, and this could be a disaster. Stand by. Eagle has made it down the stairs. He was a little wobbly at the end, but he made it. Eagle appears to be very disoriented today. We're going to need to do like last time and point out exactly where we need him to go. Secret Service team, prepare a point. Hold that point. Perfect. No way he could miss that. Eagle will be turning in 5, 4, 3, 2. He missed his mark. He missed his mark. Eagle is wandering. Jesus Christ. All units be advised. We are going to need a pretty lady or small child of some sort with nice smelling hair to get the Eagle back on track, and we've lost visual. Secret Service team, the Eagle has landed and is making his way down the
Oh
helicopter
man, that
stairs.
is
We know his history with
horrible.
It's horrible, but it's
Oh,
fucking funny.
man.
Oh shit. Hold that point, hold that point. He is wondering. No, it was a clip somebody made, but that actually was a real video of him actually wandering off, though. And they actually did hold a point
Oh
to
man.
where to turn. And yeah, he completely didn't do it. Yeah, the clip was real, but the audio of the Secret Service was not.
Oh boy.
Man, the stuff you find on here. Now,
So it is it. So are you? Do we need to talk to you then about those juicy melons?
now this is the real footage.
Uh,
Yes, this is the real version of it. And he really does get lost. Then he's like, "Where's he going? We're supposed to go this way, sir."
hmm.
You can't make that up. There's no way.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody from I think he was from Africa, somewhere from Africa. I was talking to them on social media the other day, and we were going back and forth about how America does this, America does that. I was like, "That's bull crap. America does this, America does that." And we were talking about his country, and he said, "You do realize you have an idiot for a leader, and the whole world laughs at him, right?" And then,
Yes, we know.
I
We
was like,
laughed
"You
at
know
him.
what? That there, I gotta wave the white flag." I said, "Yeah, you're absolutely right on that one."
No, I would have fired back. I know. We laugh at him too.
Well, I said that. I said that part, and I said, "Yeah, I know. We all." I said, "Yeah, we laugh at him too." Yeah, you're right. He's an idiot. But
He ain't just an idiot. I could give a couple other words there. Fucking
at least one, 2 more years, man. 2 more years.
one.
Well, 42 more months.
One. So what time do you got to pick up your wifey?
In a minute. You got anything else?
Nah. That was
Because
just
if
kind
you
of
guys listen, if you guys want a real, who you guys favoring next? Not Biden.
Donald Trump.
I want to be. I want to be upset if he went. I just don't know if he can win. There's
He
too
can.
much. That's what we thought last time, right?
I'll tell you what. If DeSantis runs, that'll be a hard one for me because I like them both.
I mean, I really would prefer DeSantis because I think he's more favorable to win. I mean, don't get me wrong. I
But the
vote for Trump.
problem
The
is,
problem is DeSantis. He could probably win people over easier than Trump could. And she had a couple of retina detachments, one in each eye, and then she had cataract surgeries, so she has trouble seeing at night when she comes to driving. So
I got one though. I will share this one because this one here was funnier than shit. I don't care who you are. This was funny. Yes, I'm bored. And it shows, but it was funny.
He was never considered smart. He was never considered a good senator. He was only a good vice president because he understood how to kiss Barack Obama's ass. Here's Hunter being examined by Sleepy Eyes Chuck Todd or some of these people. Hunter, it's so great that you're here, sir. Hunter, I know they're giving you approximately $168,000 a month. I hear they paid you a big check of $3 million. I just want to speak on behalf of NBC, who's absolutely one of the worst. I just want to tell you, Hunter, I just want to tell you, I couldn't be happier for you and your family. And I know you don't know anything about energy, and I know it's an energy company, but I think they made a great deal, Hunter. And then they fly to China. And I'm dealing with people right now. They're tough as hell, those Chinese negotiators. And Hunter was not too smart. Hunter. He goes in, he has a meeting, he walks out in his fund with $1.5 billion, with a B, $1.5 billion. These aren't the same Chinese negotiators that I'm dealing with, I can tell you. These are not the same ones, but we are doing very well in that negotiation. Now think of it. Where's Hunter? Okay, get it. So where is Hunter? I want to see Hunter ask these questions. Hunter, you know nothing about energy. You know nothing about China. You know nothing about anything, frankly. Hunter, you're a loser. Why did you get $1.5 billion, Hunter? And your father was never considered smart. He was never considered a good senator.
dude, you already hit play it. You don't need to play it again.
It's doing that on its own.
That wasn't really all that funny.
Was too. He said it right. The only thing Biden ever did was kiss Obama's ass.
That was the only funny part, but
Hey, and him making fun of Hunter was funny as hell. He ain't very smart. Oh man, he has some savage moments though. The debate with Hillary was funny, especially when Joe Biden said that Trump wasn't very smart, and he goes, "Don't use the word smart with me." He goes, "You can't do that, Joe. You claimed you graduated college head of your class. You didn't. You said you graduated from this college. Joe, you didn't graduate from that college." He goes, "So don't even use the word smart with me." That's why I said, I don't know how that guy won that damn election. Ain't no fucking way he did. The guy couldn't even pack a damn parking lot.
That's
and
why
he didn't campaign.
That's
He
why we
campaigned
need
from his
somebody else.
basement.
That's why we need someone else that can beat Joe. If he does run again. And if he doesn't, we need someone that can defeat them side. We can't use the same guy because he's already been proven he can be beat. We need someone that they'll roll with.
that's why I'm thinking DeSantis will be the one that will get in. And I say this because the Democrats want DeSantis in, and I don't know why.
For unity.
Well, I'm wondering if he ain't a switch hitter.
He's not. It's for unity. They know they need to let a Republican win. They just want one that's, quote, safe. Washington use. Well, they need someone
Hello,
that's safe.
he's not safe. They were coming after him when he took all those illegals and put them on that little island.
I understand that, but my point is he's someone that can maybe unite the parties.
No, they can't. They did this. They broke this.
But it needs to be fixed. We can't keep going into every single election with so much hatred for each other American just because who they choose at the polls.
It'll be that way. If you choose a Republican, it's going to be that way.
It's
If you
never
choose
used
a
to be like that. That's my point.
It's always been
didn't-
that
No,
way.
it's not.
You
No,
know
it's
why
not.
it hasn't?
Because
Do you know why?
we actually respected each other in this nation.
No. Trump did this when he's been saying something that everybody wanted to hear for a long time.
I understand that.
That there was evil people in there that needed to go.
Right.
That's how he won that election. Because that's something no politician has ever said. Nobody. They knew there was corruption, but nobody ever came out and said it because they're politicians. They all work together. They love each other.
That's not
why
true.
they needed to get
The
rid
guy
of
that
Trump.
you were just playing a while ago, talking about the Second Amendment, he is a government person. And he recognized if there's tyranny in the government, guess what? He's the government. He understands that it's the people that would take people like him, aka the government, out. He understands that, but he also supports it because he understands what Second Amendment really means. You can get safe people.
It isn't
that
just
both
the
people
Second
can follow.
Amendment. It's everything Trump talked about.
I understand that.
Pelosi being one. And he said he would expose them all. And he did. They all came after him. He exposed every damn one.
And
he goes, they're all
because
going
of
to come
it,
after me and they're going to show you who they are. And they did. And you know what's funny? Every damn one of them got put back. Except for one, Pelosi. Schumer's still there. Shouldn't be.
and the only reason Pelosi is because she resigned on her own accord.
Because she was losing her position.
I mean, because she still won her seat in California.
Yeah, but she wanted that house. She liked that power trip.
I don't know.
Old bat. All I'm saying is DeSantis might be a good spokesperson on the mic or whatever he's good at, but what's one thing America is that people overlook?
Divided.
No. Bigger.
Full of hate.
Bigger.
We don't
What's
have
one
God.
thing about America that we overlook?
We're no longer using God.
Checks and balances.
No.
The United States is a business, whether anybody wants to look at it or not. That's why Trump knew what he was doing the moment he took in. That's why the U.S. for the first time started making money. It got us out. And then they seen it. The Democrats are all about spending money. What did they do the moment Biden got in there? Started blowing money. Giving money away.
Someone like Trump is able to make $1 circulate forever, whereas the Democrats want to keep printing it.
No, they want to keep us in debt.
Exactly.
He was paying China back the money they loaned us. He was paying back all of our allies. That's why China, in the end, didn't really give a shit. They weren't really angry with him because they were getting something out of it. Money.
Yep.
But for the first time, we became independent. Since God knows how long. That's why I said checks and balances. It is a business. And that's why Trump knew what he was doing when he got in there. He owns businesses. He's a businessman. And that's what, you know, what gets me is my grandma. She's a diehard Democrat. And she did a quote from, can't remember who it was. I'll have to ask her. It was another president. That said a businessman has no business in politics. Well, now we know why. They just showed it. Because he's going to make us money. He's going to make the U.S. wealthy again. The U.S. will stand on its own 2 feet. It will no longer need its allies. It will no longer need the rest of the world. For instance, I'll show this just because I can. You're going to like this. I promise you, Ghost. You're going to like this.
I'll hurry it up, man.
I'm hurrying as fast as I can, but for some reason, it's not letting me. Ah, there we go. No. Anywho, I'll start off with one better. The town where we live in. You know what this town was actually known for?
Yeah.
Shoot.
I really don't want to.
We were known in the 1950s to 1970s as the leading manufacturers of the world.
Oh, I thought you meant that history. I thought you meant the other history.
We had John Morrell. We had John Deere.
We had a lot of problems.
We had our own Atumwa Foundry where we made certain stuff for John Deere. We also had feed mills.
A lot of brothels.
Purina. We led the industry. What happened to this wonderful town that now is just people refer to as a shithole?
Because there is no, I'll answer that. There's no diversity in this city. It's either factories there isn't. It's either factories or farming.
I could take you backwards and look at every mayor we had in this town. All of the time everything started leaving, guess what was in the office?
Let me guess, a demo?
Yep. And every time after that, more things kept leaving, Democrat. During the time of the 1950s, the 1970s, the early 70s were all Republican. Democrat got in and everything started leaving. One by one.
You have to understand, well,
I just think it's a big ass coincidence that every time a Democrat gets its hands on something, it fucks up. For instance, how did we go as the leading manufacturer of the world to now having 2 production companies in this fucking town?
there's no diversity though in this city, dude. And if you want to make money, what can you do other than just be factory, industrial, or farming?
Oh, there's tons of things you can do. It's just getting the capital to do it. That's the biggest thing. But even if you got the capital, taxes are going to be so damn high. Mom and pop stores can't even remain open because the taxes on it are so fucking high right now.
And because of which, people like you and me and everybody else, you help cater to it by going to the name brand stores. You go to
Oh.
Walmart. You go to Starbucks for your coffees. You
I
go
don't.
to. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying you in general. You go to Walmart. You go to Starbucks for your coffees. You go to like when was the last time you just went down to the local coffee shop down the street just for a cup of coffee?
We have one that's open
Exactly.
during my time.
No, we used to. We used to have a cafe just down the street where I lived, but thanks to COVID, they shut down.
My point. So if we were to go
Oh,
through,
and which who decided to make COVID such a big issue? Which team?
go ahead.
Republicans or Democrats? I'm asking you.
Nope, just one. They pressured the Republicans to take it seriously. Trump never took it seriously. He said
I
that.
know that's my
It's
point.
more
It was,
than the
it was
damn
another
flu.
Democrat thing. It was like you said, hey, Democrats touch something, everything goes to shit.
Exactly. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a biased person, but I can read
Yeah,
through a
you are.
bunch of bullshit.
You're a little bit.
Yeah, my union is Democrat, and look at that shithole. We're not going into that. And I still pay them. I don't know why I still pay
You have
them.
to understand something. A few decades ago, Democrat Republicans thought about the unions were completely the other way around.
Well, I know how good my union is. I see my health insurance.
Speaking of which, I'm going to ask you a question on that, but
Nope.
I'll do that offline.
Go ahead, because I'm going to get into that in a minute anyway. So I'll discuss all my
No. It's a personal question. I'll wait till we're
like, for instance, dental only wanted to cover $1,700 to have all my teeth pulled.
Well, how about this? My wife works where you work, and her vision doesn't cover her vision.
Like I said, what the fuck are we paying for?
She has an eye doctor, right? Every time she goes to the eye doctor, her insurance won't cover it.
Oh, I bet you they only have selected insurance. You have to go with who selects JBS insurance. That's the thing.
I don't care. The fact of the matter is,
but it does, because certain eye doctors only take Medicaid because it's a guaranteed payment, and some only take private health care, like JBS. So no, they probably won't pay for it if that's the case, and that isn't on the insurance company. That's on the doctor. Because the moment that he sees a patient on Medicaid and he runs it, he's automatically paid right then and there, no questions asked. If that makes sense. But now dental, on the other hand, my dental insurance, just for me to get my teeth pulled out of a $6,000 surgery, they only wanted to cover $1,700. And then they gave me $1,000 bonus. I mean, $1,000 takeoff due to where I worked as a discount. And they told me I still needed to come up with $4,000 and some dollars. And I'm like, yeah, let me just pull that out of my ass. So again, insurance is the biggest thing, because the working man, you pay for it. I know I pay $54 a week for this shit. And what the fuck does it cover? Nothing. Doesn't cover a damn thing.
Yeah, that's why she was going to talk to you about that. She didn't want to talk to you.
If I was her, I would be calling the insurance on the vision. I don't know who it is.
Well, she also wanted to talk to you about that because she also went to the she wanted to get like a shot to help her knees feel better. I forget what it was called.
Epidural, not epidural. I know what you're talking about because I had it in my elbow.
Nope, it's not that one. It's the other one.
I know what you're talking about. I had it in my elbow.
The gel one, or the gel one, or the steroid one?
Whatever in the hell the cortisone shot is.
Yep, she's already tried that. That one was covered by the insurance. Now they want to try a gel shot, and the insurance says that they won't cover it. So if she wants it, she has to come up with $800. Because let's just pull that one out of her ass.
Yeah.
It's greed, dude.
Well, the bad thing is it's Blue Cross Blue Shield. That is the biggest problem. And I added up how much I give them a fucking year, dude. And it's like, you can't afford to pay my shit, but look at how much money I'm giving you.
Mm-hmm. So that's why she was going to actually pull you aside and ask you, where do you think? Because she's thinking about completely canceling theirs and just giving her
honestly, I wish I would have kept the one I had, because the one I had, it came with a life insurance policy of $100,000, and I only paid like $50 a month, which is same. It's actually $4 cheaper than what I'm paying now. Actually, that was a month, and they covered a hell of a lot more than what I'm paying now. Like, it's freaking ridiculous.
Like,
see, what people didn't understand was about Obamacare. This is Obamacare. You got it. It doesn't help you. You know how I found that out? When a veteran down at JBS has been there like fucking 40 years, he got his teeth pulled 15 years ago. He said they paid all of it. That was dentures included.
Damn.
And then now I told them what they wanted to charge me, and that was just for the surgery. The dentures alone were $1,200. And I was like, damn, fuck. And he agreed. He's like, damn, that's a lot of money. I go, you're telling me, dude. But all right, guys, I think we're going to head off here. He's got to pick up his wife, and it's 1:57. It's time for me to get my ass to bed.
All right, everybody. Take care. I don't think he's going to play the closing video. Can we even play the opening video? Anyway,
What the?
Yeah, we'll just end with that.
Yes, that's me being a dick. I could end it with the sponsored ad.
Let's not say we did.
All right, have a good night, everyone. We're out.